What? No, I don't want to do it. No, come on. Dude, listen to me. Listen to me. I'm not going to do it. Go talk to Danny. Go possess him. Okay. I'm a good guy. I don't want to harm anybody. Come on, man. Come on. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Sorry about that. The devil keeps on like trying to make me do it. Trying to make me do something. Goddamn devils, demons, whatever, possession. All right. Did the devil make him do it? Did it? Did he make him do it? Well, today's show, we're going to talk about it. Now, a lot of you might not know the story. Some of you know the story. Some of you have seen a movie about it and didn't know it's this story. And if that's the case, the movie I'm talking about is The Conjuring 3. That is based on one of the cases, The Devil Made Me Do It. So what I'm going to do is, in an intro for today's show, I found a short on a little bit about the case. So maybe the intro will kind of shine some light about that case. And like always, we're going to talk real about the case, 100% real. There's going to be no fluff here. None of that. So after the short, I'll see you right back.
The trial of Arne Johnson, also known as the Devil Made Me Do It case, occurred in 1981. Johnson was accused of fatally stabbing his landlord, Bono, during an argument. His defense claimed that he was possessed by a demon at the time of the murder. The defense's attempt to use demonic possession as a legal defense was unsuccessful, and Johnson was found guilty of first-degree manslaughter. He served 5 years in prison before being released on parole. The case garnered significant attention due to its paranormal elements and inspired books, documentaries, and movies. Despite its fame, the case did not establish a precedent for using demonic possession as a legitimate legal defense. Now what do you think? Subscribe and follow for more.
All right. What's funny is I forgot to change the background thumbnail. So a lot of people think, especially in the 80s, that heavy metal music is the devil's music. So maybe that was perfect. That was perfect. All right, guys. Now I'm going to pull up. I do got a video of like the real audio recording about this case, but let me pull up. Okay. So again, this case, first of all, can you guys even see it? Why is everything like lagging behind? Let me make sure. And no, you guys can't see it. Hold on a second. I'm sorry about that. Entire screen. Maybe this is it. Apologize about that. All right. Let me see now. Let me see if you guys can see it. Okay. So let me pop it up. Apologize about that. Now, again, the Conjuring 3 movie, The Devil Made Me Do It, is based on the true story of the Glatzel family alleged experience with demonic possession of Arne Cheyenne Johnson. Now, Arne was the person who murdered his landlord, and they said he was possessed by the devil. But before you get that far, in the beginning of the story, if you haven't seen the movie, the first possession in this family was a little boy, 11-year-old boy named David Glatzel. So if you've seen the movie, there is actually right now on Netflix. I don't know if any of you have seen it, but right now on Netflix, there is a documentary of this story with the real people that lived during that time. So if you haven't seen it, yes, I shaved. I had a little misstep on a razor. So I shaved. Don't worry. It'll come back. I know. It looks totally different. So I can see it in the chat. Baby face. He looks younger and thinner. Yeah. So there's a good documentary because course, this happened in 1980 when an 11-year-old boy was possessed. In the documentary, of course, he's a lot older and he explains his side. And when you watch the documentary, there's like two different stories in one story about Ed and Lorraine Warren. And we'll get to that part. We'll get to that part. But so basically, 11-year-old boy was possessed, or they think he was possessed. Now, of course, you just can't call a church up and have the church people come over and give an exorcism. Doesn't work that way. There's a lot of paperwork involved, and there's a lot of proof that you got to have. But the family was told to get a hold of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Now, at this time in life, Ed and Lorraine Warren has already been on TV. They're already known across the paranormal investigation world. They had, I guess you could say, the worldwide fame. Where did I go? Don't worry, it'll grow back. It will grow back. Again, I had a razor, right? I have one of those electric trimmers. The black piece fell off, and I didn't know it. And when I went down, it shaved it to the skin. So the devil fucked up my razor on purpose so I could shave this off to throw everybody off. That's what happened. That's what happened. So going back to the story. So it was recommended to this family to call Ed and Lorraine Warren about the possession. Now, of course, when they went to the family, let me see here. Because the boy, okay, first of all, David has been pushed by an entity resembling an old man with charred, burnt skin. So he was seeing things. Okay, here we go. David's mother, Judy, contacted famed demologist Ed and Lorraine Warren because at this time they were known. Once they were able to receive the Catholic Church blessing to perform an exorcism for a priest, for a priest join the Glatzel, the Warren, the Johnson to free David. Now, of course, that took a lot of work. It wasn't as fast like maybe you watched the movie. When they went over there, Ed said, for us to put our blessing to help you with the church for an exorcism, because the family tried and they were turned down. They said they need evidence, recordings, and all that. They need to take pictures and all that. So, So now what happened is they got permission and they took, now in the movie, they did it at the house, but it wasn't at the house. It was actually at the church. So the Warrens took the family to the church for the exorcism. Now, what happened was, apparently, during the exorcism, the guy named, where is it? I messed it up. I should have had notes here, but who cares? This is a raw show. This is real. Arne Johnson, who was dating the daughter of the family, and that's how he's involved. Of course, later on in the story, they get married. So during the exorcism, things were, I guess, apparently everything was going crazy. That was backed by the church in the beginning. In the beginning. Remember that part. In the beginning. In the beginning. So during the possession, weird crap was going on. Things being thrown, lights flickering, everything was like going to chaos. Apparently, Arne said, get away from him, or says something like, he's just a boy, take me instead. Apparently, then everything stopped. According to the story, everything stopped. Everything. Oh, shoot. You guys are seeing me twice. Oh, look, little window. Sorry about that. So apparently, that's what happens when you do a live show, people. Mistakes happen. It happens. That's what we're here for. So apparently, the famous saying, like Lorraine says, you shouldn't have done that. You should have never done that, because now I'm not an expert, in these possessions. Not an expert. I haven't really met somebody who was possessed, and I've never saw a real life exorcism. But apparently, if you give the devil, the demon, an invite, it's going to take your soul. So apparently, the devil left this 11-year-old boy, went into Arnie, the grown-up. Now, after that exorcism, yes, everything went fine. Everything went normal, right? Everything went normal. Later on in life, Arnie and his fiance found the house to rent. They had a landlord. And apparently, the story goes that they were drinking some beers. They got into a fight. And one thing led to another. Arnie stabbed them more than once. Stabbed them like 4 to 6 times. And apparently in the story, basically, so he murdered the guy. And then apparently he took off into the woods, went on the road, going back to the original house of the family. And some says that the devil possession, he was going to go back to kill the 11-year-old boy and who else in the house. But an ambulance who went to drive to the murder, the guy got murdered, saw the guy walking, and basically called the cops, and the cops met Arnie walking with blood on him. And apparently what happened is when the cops talked to Arnie, he didn't know what was happening. He didn't know what went on. When they said that we're arresting you for the murder of the landlord guy, forgot his name, unprofessional. He didn't know what they were talking about. So some said that was a cover-up, that was a lie, that was blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. So he gets arrested. All right? He gets arrested. Now, when the story gets cool in so many ways, let me find... Okay, so basically, Arnie killed the landlord. Now, some say in real life that his girlfriend had an affair with the guy, and the fight was over that, but that's just... Who knows? So let's see here. Actually, if I go here. Oh, yeah, that's the real Arnie right there. So if you look at the picture, that's the real Arnie during the time of the murder. That's the movie. That's the kid in the movie. But that's the real guy. So I just wanted you guys to know that. So when they went to court... Let me see here. Let me find that one saying. Where is it? Now, the Arne Johnson murder trial changed history. You're like, well, how did it change history? It changed history because it was the first time a plea of not guilty because of demonic possession have ever been used in a U.S. murder trial. Apparently, in the U.S., a possession was never used. Now, if you didn't know this, first time in the U.S., if you see that part, the first time in the U.S., it was tried before in the U.K. The British always take claims to do everything first, right? The British is coming. The British. Well, apparently the story, the British actually had a possession case before the U.S. So this is the first time the U.S. had a case, and of course, the judge threw that out. They couldn't use that case, but it was tried. So Arnie and his lawyer group had to switch it from that case because they had evidence. Apparently, they had audio. They had video, not video, but pictures. But of course, they couldn't use it because the judge threw out using the possession case. So they used the case of he was scared for his life. He was on defense, but he got guilty not for first degree murder. He got first degree manslaughter. And the reason is they said, yes, if it was him defending himself, he would have only got like one stab wound, but the guy had like 6 or 8. You know, so that's like rage. So that's rage. So now he got 10 to 20 years maximum by the judge, but while Arnie was in jail, the girlfriend, they got married in jail, and she died in 2021. The real guy Arnie was in the documentary that's on Netflix. So they live a happy life, but he got out of jail 5 years later. So I don't know how all that works. You get 10, 20 years, you get out in 5 years. So, I mean, I don't know exactly how it all works. Now, if you watch the documentary, there's always like he said, she said, everybody said, you know, everybody's coming up with like their own stories. You know, like one of the stories is that the mother of the family was putting medicine into the foods to the whole family, because the one son, who on record on the documentary says it was all false, it was all a lie. Now, in my opinion, you got to understand something. At the time of the 11-year-old possession, this guy was 15 years old, and he said it was all a lie, but he could have been pissed off because he was left out, or they didn't make him feel involved. So was he telling the truth? I don't know. But apparently he found a letter, talks about some kind of medicine, and the possession was induced from what the mother put in all the foods. But it only affected the kid. And they said the reason it affected the kid the most because he probably ate the most. You know, so I don't buy that. Now, I'm not saying the mother didn't put something in the food. I mean, I guess technically she could have, but I don't think she did. Because one person, over and over, the 11-year-old kid was like showing possession, but nobody else was near that sick, and they were all eating the same food. So, you know what I mean? Like, you could believe them or not, that it was all a hoax from the beginning. And again, listen, we learn every day stories that we thought was real, and they turn out to be 100% hoax, right? I mean, we don't, in theory, we weren't there. So in a lot of ways, we don't know on what we read, right? Everything we know is what we read, and everybody takes the information the way they take it. But in the documentary saying that it was the medicine, I don't buy that. I think there would have been more hallucination, more of the family with this. So I disagree with that. Now, I'm going to play you guys audio recording, the actual audio recording of one of the sessions of the 11-year-old boy in his possession. Again, I am not here to tell any of you. Now, first of all, the recording is real because it recorded something, but I ain't going to sit here and convince you that the kid was, who he was on, it was possessed by the devil. That's up to you. All right? That's up to you. This is an open, honest channel where we're all just giving our thoughts, and that's it. And that's it. All right? So here's the audio recording of it.
What does that do to the whole system of law if a person can walk in and say, the devil made me do it?
David, in the name of Jesus, Jesus repels you. Leave this child alone. It's on your forehead. Yes, Never, you are not strong, you're weak. You're weak. Ryan. Jesus loves this boy. This is his child.
Wake him out of it. Strap him up to something. He won't get out of it right now, Ma.
He told me there ain't gonna do nothing now.
What do you think you've been doing all
In the name
this
of the
time?
Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. You gotta hold him down, he told me to. Hold him on the ground, he said.
David, Mommy's here. Mommy's here. Come on, wake up. Come on. Get up. Come on, let's go. Get out of this. Get out of my son. Get out of my son. Come on. Come on, son. Son, get up. Get away from my son. No! I'm your mother. David, wake up.
The
Get up.
boy,
Get up, David.
He's the Holy
Mommy loves you. Mommy
In the name
loves
of
you.
the Father and the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. You can't sit him up. He's just getting orders.
Get up! My God, get up!
So, all right. That's some of the recordings. And there's more you guys can find online. Even in the movie, The Conjuring 3, at the end of the movie, they actually play some stuff and they show some real stuff. So I find it ironic that a Catholic priest is actually saying, leave these kids alone. That's a good one, Danny. That's a good one. Now, again, I'm not saying that recording proves that he was possessed. Now, of course, the real kid in that documentary believes he was really possessed. He believes everything that's happened to him. So one brother believes it because, of course, it was him. The other brother says it was all a hoax. But again, that could be from jealousy, for not being involved, or tired of them getting all the attention. I don't know. I mean, I again, you take everything with the grain of salt. Okay, so now here's the second part of the story. So that's basically that's basically what the story of 1980. The 11-year-old boy was possessed. They were told to call Ed and Lorraine Warren. They went there. They believed the place is haunted, and they said it's not just haunted, it's possession. They had enough evidence. The church approved. Now, the church said okay to an exorcism. Again, I don't know how easy it is or how super hard it is in exorcism. Everything I read is it's difficult to get an approval for an exorcism. They took the boy to the church. They did the exorcism there. Arnie said, don't take this boy, take me instead. Apparently, the devil jumped from the kid into the boy. I mean, from the kid into the man. And then one day, the man was saying he was possessed, and he killed his landlord and went to jail. Now, ever since, in the movie, they show they did a exorcism like in church, or no, they did exorcism in jail and got rid of the demon that was inside that guy. In that documentary, the guy said there was never another exorcism ever again. Till that day, to this day, he's never received an exorcism, but he believes in the church. He believes in the writings, so he kind of like policed it himself to make sure he doesn't get possession. Is that bullshit or not? That's up to you. So I know, right? It was still more dramatic without the music. I know. I didn't put the music in there. The place I did, they put it in there. I know what you're saying. You know, it is what it is. You could probably find actual recordings probably without the music, but I didn't have time to mess around a lot. Now, let's talk about Ed and Lorraine Warren, because there was a lot of anger with the family with Ed and Lorraine Warren, and anger. See, sometimes people, like, when you hear the anger, it was all a hoax. It was all this. No, the anger part was the money part. Because, of course, after all that, after the court case and all that, of course, Ed and Lorraine Warren wrote a book about the story. And apparently, with the signing deal at that time, they got $81,000, and the family was only given $4,000 for the story. Apparently, the family says they were promised more. So the anger wasn't about the help they received. The anger was they were making the money. And of course, the Conjuring 3 movies, I mean, all the Conjuring movies, you know, Conjuring 3, the family of the Warrens makes the money, and the real family that it happened to, I'm sure they make money from the documentary they just did, or they make money from guest appearance and all that. But they weren't making, they didn't make any money. They said they were lied to about Ed and Lorraine Warren. Now, however people feel, I respect Ed and Lorraine Warren. They were the original ghost hunters. Now, was it about the money? Now, first of all, let's be real here. At the time, in 1980, when they called Ed and Lorraine Warren for help, in the paranormal world, they were already superstars. They were already superstars. They really got the fame from Amityville Horror. So what that means is they're in high demand. I'm sure everybody wanted the Warrens to come to their investigations. Now, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm almost positive that a deal was made before they even went there. Like, okay, we'll go there, we'll check it out, and if there is, we're going to write about it. That'll be our payment. I'm sure there's some kind of deal like that because they're in high demand. Listen, and were Ed and Lorraine wrong about that at that time? Listen, if you're in high demand and now being a Ghostbuster, ghost hunter is your primary job, I'm sorry. You need to make money to make the living. Now we shouldn't punish the Ed and Lorraine on the amount of money they made. Listen, they were already huge, and I get it. And Patty is correct because there weren't many to choose from to help because the family did request help from multiple people, and nobody would help. So you take in the good and the bad. So to me, when they say it's a surprise that they got screwed over, no, I don't think it was a surprise. I think the deal was made pre-hand. Like, if there is something here, you know, we're going to get the rights to the story. And I'm sure they just, at that moment, they're more worried about getting their kid fixed than who gets rights for money for the movie. Dr. Wu just texted me that the knee experiment went wrong and all of Eric's hair fell out. Yeah. I know, Lockbeard. I'm Ghostbusters. They were known as ghost hunters. I just used the word Ghostbusters. I'm just using it. Like, hey, like the movie Ghostbusters. You got to pay them. But they do have coupon discount day, you know? So listen, they're going to get paid. So if you hate Ed and Lorraine Warren because of the money part, listen, at that moment in time, I'm sorry. That's just, they're not going to do things for free. Nobody does things for free. Sorry to tell you that. You know, it's no different than now. You go to Comic Cons, you go to all these cons, you got to pay for autographs. You know, you're going there, you want to get that autograph from that athlete now. You want to get that autograph from an actor. You got to pay money. That is just how the world works. Listen, another reality is, listen, I will love to be able to get in a car go cross country to every single state, to every single haunting place. But the fact is, car costs money, gas, food, places you want to go to, like Bobby Mackey's, you got to pay to go to Bobby Mackey's if you want to investigate it at night. Everything costs money. The only way I will be able to do it if I had a sponsorship or somehow. So, yes, money is going to be involved, but you can't say a story's fake because you're angry at the Warren families about the money part. You can't. I'm sorry, you can't. Now, of course, you want to make the argument that the story itself got exaggerated. Hey, that's a fair argument. But I'm going to tell you guys something. Most stories out there, almost anybody tells, have been exaggerated. Now, my thing is, there is a point that you can exaggerate too much to where the story is fake. No, I'm sorry, not the story is fake. What I mean is the story that can become the same as lying. There is a line to cross. I know some people might like when you watch the movie Conjuring 3, it's an exaggerated story. Possession in prison. So again, I'm not here to tell you guys if the story's real or not. That's going to be up to you guys. Now, if I'm looking at the poll that you guys voted in the chat, it says 40% believe the story is true, 20% says no, and the 40% says they don't know the story. And that's fair. That's fair. You know, but hopefully now, because I did the show on the story, that maybe you guys will go out and look at the story yourself, make your decision. Now, I'm going to play you another video of the Warren family being interviewed. Now, the full video is 27 minutes. I'm not going to play the full 27 minutes, but maybe we'll listen to the beginning and we'll get into some parts of the story in the middle and stuff. So let's hear some of it.
With us today. I'd like to begin by asking, what exactly is the Brookfield slaying case about?
Well, it has to do with the possession of an 11-year-old boy. We were called in on the case by a Roman Catholic priest who at that time was pastor of St. Joseph's Church in Brookfield. He had told us that we had his prayer support, but he was rather fearful of becoming any further involved in the case. He was getting ready to leave for Ireland with his mother and was fearful because of the fact that he had fallen victim as a result of exercising a home that he was called upon to exercise in New Fairfield through then Archbishop Curtis. And so he said, "You have my support, and I realize it is most likely a case of possession, but unfortunately I won't be able to work with you." Well, there were 6 Roman Catholic priests that worked with us. 3 of them were schooled and ordained in Rome. They were knowledgeable men in the areas of demonology as well as their work in theology. We were called to this home where David Glotzel...
Hold on a second. Did the family call them or priest? Are you asking if the family called the church or was it the Warrens? Because if you're talking about the family did try to reach out to the church, and of course they were turned down. Then of course the Warrens got involved. Now Warrens went to the same church that they tried to get a possession to help. I don't know, like convince the church to say, "Hey, this is a real possession. This is a real possession." So the Warrens helped and told them what they needed to do to get the permission from the church with the recordings. That's why there is tape recordings and there's pictures of the actual. She said priest called. I thought the family called them. Maybe she called additional. Well, let's hear more. Let's see what she says.
Young 11-year-old boy had come under diabolical possession. It all began to take place in a home.
Oh yeah. Also, for the record, when the Warrens went, they did bring a doctor with them. To examine the boy before they even, mental health and all that, to make sure that there wasn't something medically wrong. But now, also, just because, listen, I went to a doctor's office and showed my forehead. He said it was nothing. Then my wife had me go to another place. Oh, that was skin cancer. So, because there is a doctor there doesn't mean they're you're gonna get an instant diagnose. And of course, in the 80s, PTSD, mental health was really not even looked at. A lot of people doctors didn't even really investigate it too much. And a lot of people never admitted to any kind of a mental health because especially during that time, you'd be made fun of. So yes, they did bring a doctor, which was good. And the doctor determined that he was just a normal 11-year-old boy. So possession is not due to this, but what do they really know? Right? We all have gone to doctors and they miss something and you go back like, oh, they never ordered this test. Happens every day.
That his sister and the sister's fiance were renting. They were going to be renting this house, and on the end of it was like an in-law apartment where Arne Johnson's mother was going to be living with the two sisters. It was in that home that David first exhibited signs of possession.
Hold on. I don't know if she's going to talk about this too. Now, people want to question her being a medium or not. That's fair. You guys can question. You should always question anybody who says they're a medium. That, in fact, she did go to the police after the exorcism of the 11-year-old boy. She actually went to the police and said that something's bad is going to happen. Arnie's going to do something bad. She sees a knife in the future. And, of course, the stabbing. So I just want to get that out there. If you want to believe she's a medium or not, she actually did go to the police and said that she sees that Arnie's going to do something bad. Now, I'm sure that, most cops or police will be like, possession, and you see like the future or visions. I'm sure they looked at her, but that was a fact. She actually went to the police and told them something bad is going to happen. So, just want to bring that out there.
It was rather strange and rather bizarre what occurred. It was a bright summer afternoon, and they were setting up things in the apartment, and Mrs. Glatzel, Judy Glatzel, was helping her son, or her daughter and going to be son-in-law, in setting up the furniture and like that. Now, the previous occupants had left behind a waterbed, and kids are drawn to things like that, 11 years old especially, and they're jumping on the bed, jumping up and down on the bed. And the other children went in the...
Whoa. Hey. Hold on. Danny, we are a family-friendly show. So, I don't know what was Lockbeard doing in the bathroom, doing a broadcast show from the bathroom. I don't want to have that visual in my head. We're a family show, right? We're a family show here. What Lockbeard does in the bathroom is his own thing. Not a bathroom, a private study room. Oh, now it's a private study room. I don't know. I'm not there. We're a family show, guys. We're family. We don't do anything bad on this channel. Come on, we're all good people here.
The other room, and as David went to get up off the bed, he described this man as appearing.
Here.
He could see everything about the.
Let me go in the middle somewhere.
Through the use of a ritual called religious provocation, provoked there, and things were moving all over the place. Oh, here's Arnie and Debbie. That's a very bad picture of Arnie.
He
doesn't look anything like that.
He doesn't.
He's a very clean-cut looking kid. And here's, I believe that's Arnie or the father.
That was taken after an all-night session, that photograph of him.
You would be fighting with this young boy all night long, and he would have tremendous strength. Now, see, besides this, we look for outward manifestations. Things moving around. Here we are again. I think that's Arnie holding his arms down. That's the father got his arm on his chest.
Yeah, that's Arnie and Carl Glatzel. Yes, it is.
Again, you see Arnie there. He's fighting and holding down the young boy. This young boy is very docile. You know, when he would not be possessed, he wouldn't say 2 words to you. When he got like that, obscenities, everything came from this young man. And of course, that's Reverend Father Virgilac, who was the chief exorcist in the case in the church. During the exorcism that day in the church, tremendous things happened. The hymn books, which were on the seats, flew up in the air. Doors opened and closed in the back of the church. The boy escaped, attacked the exorcist. And here's the...
This is Arne Johnson's sisters. He was very, very devoted to these girls.
Shrine lords.
And he had them to his apartment the day of the murder. They were right there at that time. That's
Debbie and one of her brothers again.
Yeah, that's David and Debbie.
Oh, was?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And that's the convent again. Yeah. That's the front view of the convent in Brookfield.
The exorcism, the big, huge exorcism, which was almost came to a positive climax, was at the church. This is Mr. Glatzel and Mrs. Glatzel.
Judy and Carl.
Looks like Grizzly Adams, huh? Nice man. And now there's the church.
That's
the basement where the exorcism was held.
That's where the second exorcism was held.
We had brought some people right there where you see those cars parked, and we were talking to them. The man had a recorder on. And we played it back. A deep, gruff voice came over the recording saying, "Why are you here?"
Yes. In fact, what had happened, Krista...
In fact, Krista, we're asking, why are you here?
But anyway, Krista, what had happened was we were talking to this group in the driveway there, the big driveway, and we were describing all the things that had occurred in that possession case. Oh. And he had a small recorder, and he had it out like this.
Again, or they're just kind of normal, everyday people?
They were everyday people, dear. But for one reason or another, realized that tragedy creates the ghost syndrome. Right. The older the area, the more chance of tragedy. So they've probably met their death under some violent circumstances, or they just never accepted their death. And in certain instances, they may have, and they just come back in spirit for one reason or another. But there is always a law of attraction. For instance, this building in England, Borley, England.
Okay.
What does
we'll bring it down. All right. So, I mean, you guys know the basic, story now. 11-year-old boy got possessed. They tried to reach out for the church and all that kind of stuff, and they got turned down. They were told a recommendation to call the Warrens. The Warrens came over with their own doctor, examine, and of course, Lorraine did her thing. Said the boy is possession, and they said at that moment in time that it was a dangerous possession. Then they left, and of course, things started happening. Again, worse for the boy, and the family took Ed and Lorraine's things to do, record, write everything down, take pictures, which the family did. And they got Warren's help. They called the church. They showed them everything. The church approved it. And then they took the family to the church. Did an exorcism. The demon went from the boy to Arnie, the son-in-law, because he said, leave the boy alone. Then later on, that person, Arnie, murdered the landlord. They went to court. They tried to use the first time in America saying that he was possessed by the devil. The judge threw it out. Now listen, I don't know I don't have the case name. Hey, listen, there was a case where another murder case, I can't remember where, and I remember the guy got a less sentence because he said that it wasn't his fault because he ate a Twinkie. Yes, the sugar from the Twinkie did something to him, and he murdered somebody. So that's not, craziest things in the world that brought up to the courts, and got knocked down from first-degree murder to manslaughter. Got out in jail in 5 years. Never happened again. He never had an exorcism. Arnie's been, I guess, clean after that incident. Now, he said he learned how to do his own prayer, his own stuff. Now, Arnie himself, the 11-year-old boy, saying that the possession's real. One of the brothers says it was all false. It was all fake. Again, maybe because Arnie and the 11-year-old boy were getting all the commercials, not commercials, but all the invites. Maybe they were the ones making the money. He wasn't. So I'm just saying that and all that. And then, so did the devil make him do it? Or was this really more of the first case of mental health? I'm trying to be very careful how I say that because I don't want YouTube to shut it down because they're going to be getting false medical information, which I'm not. But was it more mental health? I mean, first of all, you have to believe that possession is even possible. And I know that's tough for a lot of people because most people, if you believe in somebody getting possessed, it's more likely that you believe that God and the devil exist. I'm sure that if you don't believe that God or the devil exist, you probably don't believe that possession is possible. I'm just putting it out there. But what do you guys think right now in the chat right now? Was that guy right here with my fingers going up his nose, was he possessed during the murder? Or was one of the rumors is he knew what he was doing because apparently the landlord and the girlfriend had an affair. Now, again, if they had an affair, they did get married in prison, but I'm sure if you're in prison that even if you're angry, you're not angry because you want any woman's touch. Because we all know in prison, he probably met a guy named Bubba and he became Bubba's friend. You know what I mean? So you believe JoJo says no. She doesn't believe the devil made him do it. That's fair. Come on, Lockbeard. What do you think? I know you put comments on everything. So what do you think? We had a possession in my area 40 years ago, and some Baptist preacher tried to exorcise. It took Sherman to get it done. The preachers still refuse to talk about it. Oh yeah. After the guilty charge of the court case, before that, the church did come out and said, yes, they did do an exorcism. But once that guy got guilty charge, the church never said anything else about it. I think it was just another nutty guy. True. Okay. How about this then? If we believe the guy's nutty, that's fine. Hold on a second. I believe in a scientifically describable unseen aspect of reality that many people would think as a spiritual realm. In that unseen exists many creatures, some of which would seem like demons. That's true too. That's a good point. You know, it could be not all possessions might be the devil. You're right, Lockbeard. If you believe that there's other realms, that's a possibility. Okay, so Danny, how about this, Danny? How about this? You're saying the guy, Arnie, this guy right here, the one with his finger up his nose right there, is a fakery. What about the boy? Do you believe the 11-year-old boy was possessed by the devil? Religion is just another form of control. There is more Bigfoot than the devil. More proof. I think he meant more proof of Bigfoot than devil. True. I mean, listen. This is all speculation. We weren't there. We weren't there. We might have a different point of view if we were there, but we weren't. So it is one of those things. My opinion, I feel that there's a more of a possibility of the 11-year-old boy to was a possession, but I believe Arnie that, listen, when you get into a fight and you've been drinking a lot of alcohol, of course, that alone could be a fight, but maybe I think the rumor might be true that the 11-year-old, the landlord probably was having an affair. And, you know, if somebody has any type of percentage of a MH, that can easily happen where when you see red and red took over and all that. I'm just trying to make sure I say the words right. You know, we shut down if it looks like I'm giving medical advice. So I believe the possession of the boy is more possible. Let me see here. There could be some spectral creature that my call Satan, but I have no reason to believe in Satan. Goes, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, listen. Listen. Yes, I had a grandpa who was a minister, but yes, I did get baptized when I was a kid. But everybody else was doing it, so I did it. I never go to church. I've never really been I've been a couple churches because my grandpa was building furniture, but I've never done church. So, you know, I guess by default, you can say I'm more atheist because I don't study the Bible like my brother does. Dr. Wu did. He read the Bibles. I did not. So, you know, but the movie was good. You know what, Patty? Devil, demons, gods, or heavens, any kind of possession, yes. Don't ever say, take me instead. Because whatever was causing that possession, you're asking to go inside. It's almost like when people said that if you're playing with the Ouija board, you're just asking for them to, you're giving an invite of whatever you're doing a Ouija board at to talk to you. And if you're asking them to talk to you, then position. Is that why they tried to drown me at church? I was 7. Oh man, beautiful crowd. So beyond that. So, all right, guys, what do you think? Tomorrow I'll be back, but again, going to make a new correction. 9 a.m. Nope, it's going to be 10 a.m. Pacific time. It's going to be 10 a.m. So if there's a case you guys want me to look at, if you guys, want to talk about a Bigfoot, a UFO on a certain day, let me know. I'll make the topic whatever you guys want. I could care less. I just love doing the show. I'll pick a topic just to start a show with. I mean, we did the whole show on this story, but, leave me in the comments. Send me an email, paranormalhighway13@gmail.com. Let me know what you guys want the next discussion to be. I'm open to discussions. I just, only thing I wish, because I love talking about Sasquatch and Bigfoot, but there just really hasn't been any good stories to talk about. You know what I mean? So if you guys know a great Bigfoot story that just recently came out a year, even 5 years ago, that it's an interesting story to investigate, please let me know. Because I love talking about Bigfoot and Sasquatch, but there really hasn't been anything that's been, I guess you could say, juicy enough to do a whole show for an hour. And you guys know me. I'm not gonna do a skeptic show for a whole hour. Yes, we all need to be skeptics in some ways, but skeptic. But if there's a topic or a story, let's do it. So beyond that, guys, I want to appreciate all of you. What's this? Hold on, real quick. I think Bigfoot got evicted. They're cutting down the forest near here. Very sad. Oh, that sucks. I know. Unfortunately, that's happening everywhere. But beyond that, guys, I appreciate every single one of you for being here. Tomorrow I'll be back. I don't know what the subject's going to be exactly yet, but something will come to me tonight. And, we'll just all hang out tomorrow and we'll talk about it. Beyond that, seems like we've been getting low crowds lately. That's fine. I love it when there's ain't a lot of people. I love it. There's so many fake channels now that are out there and all that. Everybody jumps on their bandwagon, but that's fine. I don't care. So beyond that, I'll see you guys tomorrow on the I can't say Paranormal Highway no more, on the Airquad Podcast.